Sancho. Now, we all know that he's leaving Manchester United this summer, right? Especially once they confirmed that Ten Hag was going to be remaining as the head coach, manager, whatever the hell you want to call him. Sancho has no future at the club anymore. We know that they fell out last season, and that's why he ended up on loan at Dortmund. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I rate Sancho. I think he's a good player. To me, I don't believe that the reason he's flopped at Man United is 100% down to him. I think he is a flop. Because when you spend 72 million on a player and it does not work out, there's no way else to classify that. But I believe it's mostly because of the systems that Man United employed while he was at that club. It doesn't really make any sense to me why you'd buy a player like Sancho, a guy that's good on the ball, can link play, gets his teammates into it, slows down the game, and is good attacking, and then you put him into a team and you want to counterattack. How's that going to work? Like, how are you going to look at what Sancho did at Dortmund and then buy him to play in a completely different style? It doesn't make any sense. So he was always destined to fail at that club. And I remember back when they signed Sancho, I was like, oh shit, Man United are about to cook. Because I believe that was the same summer they brought in Ronaldo and Rafael Varane, if I'm not mistaken. Like, all three of these guys came in the same window. And I was like, oh my goodness, what are United cooking? Like, they might actually be back. And things just have not worked out. And he was on loan at Dortmund for the last half of the season. And I thought he played well. He didn't tear it up like what he did when he was in Germany before, but he didn't look bad, right? And I think he was very crucial in their run to the Champions League final. I mean, you guys saw that game against PSG where on the same pitch as Mbappe, he was the best player in that first leg. He was cooking. And I do think that there is a market for Sancho, and his value has dropped a lot. So I think anybody that ends up buying him, they're going to get a very good deal for a player that I believe has a lot of potential. And Barcelona are a club that he was linked to even before he went to Dortmund. And this rumor has kind of been persistent, and I actually can see this deal happening. I think Sancho would start for Barcelona right now, and I think he would do well in their system. Now, I say their system. I don't necessarily know what Hansi Flick is going to want to do, but we all know that at Barcelona, you got to be playing an attractive brand of football. That's the minimum. That's the bare minimum, right? It's not enough to just win trophies at Barca. You also got to win trophies in style. So I'm going to just give them the benefit of the doubt, Hansi Flick I'm talking about, in terms of the way that they will play next season will be attacking possession-based football, right? Because we saw it at Bayern Munich, right? They were cooking with Hansi Flick there. So, yeah, that left wing spot for Sancho at Barcelona, I think is up for grabs. I think he's better than Rafinha, right? Lamine Yamal already occupies that right wing. You're not going to disbar him from there, right? That's their star boy. He's one of the best players in the world, and he's only 16 years old. Lamine Yamal looks like the next greatest thing. Let's be honest here. I can't lie. I don't like how Barcelona are managing him. I think he's playing way too many games at 16 years old while his body is still developing, which could potentially lead to injuries. But just based off what we're seeing right now, yeah, this guy is different. I'm not going to lie. I mean, look at him at the Euros. He's cooking. 16 years old. You know what I was doing at 16 years old? I was failing math and getting grounded. This guy is playing for Barcelona and one of the best players for Spain at the Euros. Different. Anyways, yeah, I think Sancho could go on that left wing and start for Barcelona right now. I believe he's better than Rafinha. He's better than João Felix. He's better than any other winger that I could actually think of that they put on that side. And I think once he's in a team that's going to control possession and attack and kind of play possession style, I think you will see Sancho kind of return to the levels that everybody expected him to when he first signed for Manchester United. But it just depends on how much Man United are going to want for him. We all know that the reports are saying Barcelona don't have the bread. I don't necessarily believe that Barcelona are as broke as they want us to believe. I think Barcelona, they do have some financial issues, but I don't just think they have no bread to spend whatsoever. They're one of the biggest clubs in the world. They generate hundreds of millions every single season. You cannot tell me that they don't have any money. They always try to cry broke, and then they end up signing ballers, right? I remember they said that they were broke and signed Rafinha, Jules Koundé, Lewandowski. Yeah, well, how are you doing that if you don't have no bread? See, you could lie to the people, but you can't lie to me. Anyways, They're saying that Man United won about 40 million for him. I think Barcelona, they may try to bring that fee down. They are going to try to get maybe around. I think United can get about 45 million for Sancho, which could make this deal tough for Barcelona. It just all depends on who else wants him, who else is interested. Because now, if there's a bidding war, I honestly think that Barcelona can enter that, or maybe they try to get him on a loan deal. If I was Sancho, they're saying that the player might push for this move. Yeah, Barcelona are a huge club. I don't blame him. So, yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on this. But I think Sancho at Barcelona would do well. I mean, I wanted him at Real Madrid. If you guys go check my Twitter at Carnage Mob, I was asking Real Madrid to sign Sancho on loan in January because I believe he could play across the front three, right? He can also play as a number 10. And when I say across the front three, not as a striker, I'm talking about he can drop deep and play as a false nine. We saw last preseason, Ten Hag played him there in preseason, and he cooked. And I thought that's where he was going to be at for this season, well, for last season. But he just ended up getting dropped for no reason, even though he had a pretty good preseason. So, look, he's a creative player, and I think in a slower league like La Liga, where technical players seem to thrive, yeah, Sancho would be a very good signing for Barca, but I just don't know how much they'd exactly be able to spend on him, right? Maybe they try to do a loan with the obligation to buy. I just think Man United want to sell him now, just get rid. And they're going to lose a lot of money from him because if they bought him for about 70, 80 million, and now you're going to only be getting back maybe like 40, 45. Yeah, I don't know. But his loan spell at Dortmund kind of brought up his value a little bit because before that, if he didn't go on loan and if he just did not play for Man United for a whole season, basically, because he fell out with the manager, his value would have been cooked. I'm not going to lie. So, they got to thank Dortmund for that. And it's kind of a shame that Dortmund don't want to, or they can't spend 45 million to bring him back because I think he is a good player that fits their system. But, Dortmund are cheap. They want to spend as little as possible on young players to be able to sell them for a lot of money in the future. Dortmund are not a serious club. But that's neither here or there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Jadon Sancho possibly going to Barcelona. Like, is that a move that you like for him, or what other club do you think should come in for him? I know that he's been linked to Juventus also, and maybe that could be a shout as well because they now have Thiago Mata, so they're going to be playing a good brand of football. You saw what he did at Bologna last season, so yeah, that might be what is it called? It might be a situation where you do have multiple teams coming in for him, and I'm sure that's what Manchester United would want, but definitely not Barcelona if they are trying to bring him in. So, yeah, man, we'll see. Let me know what you guys think about this down below.